All of the spectacular weather in the United States is here on the West Coast. The best team in baseball, basically wire to wire this year. Tampa Bay ended April 23-6, and the Rays have stayed hot. They take on a Padres team trying to get hot and stay hot. Jason Benetti, Eric Karros along with you. Randy Arozarena and this Rays team, outstanding all year long, and he just loves playing here.
Oh, does he ever? Last night came here, hit a 3-run home run, 4 RBIs. But you go back to the 2020 season, the playoffs, where the Rays spent 2 series here. He just absolutely demolished the ball. I mean, since his time here at Petco Park, 8 home runs, killing it.
Starting lineup, sponsored by Modelo Oro. Arozarena in the 4th spot in the order. Paredes homered last night as well for this Tampa Bay team that leads the American League in home runs, and they'll face their former teammate for the first time ever, Blake Snell.
Blake Snell has been on a roll right now, throwing extremely well, coming off an outing against the Rockies in which he struck out 12 in 7 innings, no walks. You see the arsenal, the 4-seam fastball. He loves to throw that thing. The changeup, the curveball, the slider. Watch tonight for that fastball. Does he have control? Can he control his emotions?
Against a team that helped him grow as a person. Here is the defense for the San Diego Padres. Grisham, a 2-time Gold Glover in center. Fernando Tatis Jr. has been outstanding in right field. Manny Machado, a couple of Gold Gloves as well over at third base. Xander Bogaerts and Ha-Seong Kim have been outstanding in the middle infield as well. And Fernando Tatis Jr. has been one of the hottest players on this San Diego roster.
Well, remember, he missed a good part of April, and since he's come back, he leads the Padres in home runs and RBIs. You talk about this month of June, 5 home runs, 14 RBIs. Again, he is swinging it. It looks like he's going to have an MVP-type season.
That National League MVP race will be interesting all the way throughout. It looked like Ronald Acuna Jr. in a runaway, but Corbin Carroll has shown up. Fernando Tatis Jr. as well, and Manny Machado over at third base having a nice little conversation with our third base umpire, Alan Porter, today in the beautiful sunlight of San Diego. We are not rubbing it in to the Red Sox and Yankee fans who are hoping to see baseball today. We promise you we would never do that. As here is Yandy Diaz, who has been a huge part of what Tampa Bay has done this year, and sort of a transformational year for him.
Yeah, it really has been. This is a guy on base guy, average, hit the ball the other way. This year, he's added power.
Blake Snell, 108 starts with the Tampa Bay Rays in the majors. His first pitch against them is strike 1 at 97 miles an hour. Maybe a little extra on the fastball today for Blake Snell. We'll see throughout the game how he pitches against his former team. Had 1 ball, 1 strike here.
I don't think a little extra velocity is going to be the surprise. Again, we're going to have to watch. Look for the command.
Swing and a miss. Fastball upstairs for Yandy Diaz. And Kevin Cash, we were talking to him about Blake Snell before the game, and he said, look, this is a guy that we have deep affinity for. Still, a lot of guys talk about what he did here. As there's strike 3, his first punch out against Tampa Bay.
That wasn't even a high fastball. That was just a 4-seamer right down the middle. Challenged Diaz and blew it right by him.
So here is Wander Franco, who by wins above replacement in some places is the #1 player in Major League Baseball so far this year. A wizard with the glove and a tremendous year with the bat so far.
Yeah, does it from both sides. Young player, arguably one of the top 3 or 4 in all of baseball.
Just 22 years old, Wander Franco, and one of many guys in this lineup who wears out left-handed pitching. Two balls, 1 strike. There you see strikeout percentage at 7%, which is microscopic against lefties. Tampa Bay second in baseball in runs per game. They're first in slugging percentage, second in on-base percentage. A juggernaut of an offense for Kevin Cash and the hitting coach Chad Mottola. What do you think has made them so strong offensively so far?
So I think more than anything, it's contributions from everybody in the lineup. There isn't just one part that you can attack. You have to be on your game 1 through 9.
3-2 here, and it's fouled back. Yeah, their 6 through 9 is as productive as anybody's bottom 4, and it's really not close.
No, and we're talking about power, we're talking about speed.
They've won 10 of their last 13 coming in after a win last night, although it got chancy late with the Padres loading the bases in the 9th, as this will be pitch number 8 to Wander Franco, wide of third foul. Three and two. Another foul ball. You know, pitchers love this.
Just what it does is not only does it frustrate you as a pitcher, but there's a chance that next pitch you might not throw it exactly where you want it. And against a dangerous hitter like Franco, might not end well.
3-2 again is spotted well enough for strike 3. Just nipped a corner.
That is a heck of a pitch by Blake Snell. You see right on the edge, down and away. Again, Franco, there's not anything you can do with that right there. Maybe try to foul it off, but so far early on, he has got control of his emotions and his pitches.
Here's Ramirez and a first pitch breaking ball for a strike. I mean, you think about it, Blake Snell was an 18-year-old kid out of Washington who got drafted back in 2011 by this Tampa Bay Rays team, and he said they're the organization, they're the people that made me into a man, and the emotional connection is pretty large here.
Well, there's no question the affinity goes beyond player, coach, player, organization. I mean, he's a big part, the Rays are a big part of who he is, not only as a player, but as a person.
Nasty inside, strike 3. I think Blake Snell's a little amped for this one. He struck out the side in the first. That leads Major League Baseball in walk rate. Fernando Tatis Jr. at the top has been electric. Soto, a large part of the reason for that walk rate, and they're hoping for more from Jake Cronenworth, the back-to-back All-Star, down in that 5 spot against a very good control pitcher, Zach Eflin.
Zach Eflin will get the start this evening, coming off a rough one against the A's. Didn't get past 5 full innings, but he's been great for the Rays this year. Moves the ball all around, big strike thrower, throws east and west.
Yeah, I thought that was interesting the way Kevin Cash described it compared to the rest of the staff.
Well, the rest of the staff, they're power pitchers. They pitch up and down in the zone. That's north and south. Eflin, sinker, slider, cutter. That's east and west.
And we've seen it in the first 2 pitches here. As a batter, what does that do for your eyes in a series like this when you see a lot of one guy and now this?
So my approach would be different, obviously, depending on who's on the mound. But as a hitter, it was always easier to cover, I felt, up and down, because when you had to go off the plate outside, then you were vulnerable inside.
That's the kind of contact he'll get sometimes. Weak to the pull side, still 1-2.
East and west also made you a little more vulnerable as far as you're looking out over, you get drilled inside. I mean, they.
To third, tough play for Paredes. Tatis is going for second, and he is in there. An electric start for San Diego.
Tatis just absolutely smokes this ball. As you mentioned, Paredes unable to come up with the ball. But I think more than anything, that is a combination, Tatis, of not only talent, but energy. You saw the electricity. He rounded first, had second in his sights all the way. Out there in scoring position.
For Juan Soto, who leads baseball in walks and goes after the first pitch here and slices it down the left field line for strike one. You were talking to Bob Melvin before the game about the possibility of runners in scoring position numbers evening out. And he smiled and said, "I'd like to see that." Thank you. Padres are 199 with runners in scoring position. You have to figure that's going to get better.
That's worse than all of baseball. And you look at the names in this lineup and you think, no chance if that's a possibility.
Padres 33 and 36, 8.5 back of first place Arizona. And 1-2 for Soto. The on-base percentage is where you'd expect it to be at .412, which is elite. Slugging .468. What's the balance there?
Well, look, at the end of the day, Juan Soto getting down to first base, I mean, it's nice, but I'd rather make him do something. Like if he walks right now, Tatis doesn't advance. Pull the ball the other side. Get him over to third. Get him in. That's where, when you talk about batting average and walks and on base, it's not all the same. And a walk is not just as good as a hit or putting a ball in play. In this situation, if you walk, nothing happens at second base.
2-2. Called strike three on the inside corner. Fastball got him. Soto, with his grasp of the strike zone, didn't like it.
Eflin had been working away, and here he just dots a fastball. It's right. It's in off the plate. Soto, he's got a great eye. Again, too close to call, too close to take.
So one down, Manny Machado. First pitch swing. There goes the bat, and the ball stays on the infield for Taylor Walls to make the catch. And now suddenly, two down. Tatis still at second base.
Right, 0 for 2 with runners in scoring position, and you're talking about in a matter of 2 pitches, Juan Soto strikes out and Manny Machado hits a weak pop up to second. And that's just been the storyline for this Padre offense for a good part of this year.
And now basically fully healthy. They've got all the mainline guys they were expecting to in this lineup. As here is Xander Bogaerts, the 30-year-old shortstop who's been quite good offensively this year, coming over from the Red Sox, and he takes strike one. He has more hits against Tampa Bay than anybody in baseball since he came into the league. More than 1 per game against Tampa Bay. And that no longer is a small sample size thing when it gets to 146 games against them. Tatis at second, 2 strikes on Bogaerts, and time called before the pitch. Often you'll see guys use their timeout on 2 strikes, but that was a very late 2-strike call.
See, what's interesting too is Bogaerts got in the box and he engaged with Eflin with 14 seconds left. And I always felt like if I'm the pitcher in that situation, I'm going to hold the ball down to about 2 or 1 second before I throw. But Eflin delivered much earlier.
Not a long hold there either, and this is just below the zone with a fastball. Jim Wolf says ball 2. Jake Cronenworth is next. 2-2 for Bogaerts. And he takes a breaking ball down and out. 3-2. Well, with the amount of guys Eflin walks, you have to figure this is a strike.
Well, except that you've got first base open, so you can nibble. And if you do miss, maybe you want Bogaerts to expand. I'm living on an edge, and if I walk him, I walk him.
3-2. Yeah, it's inside. He missed badly. And it's a 2-out walk for Xander Bogaerts.
And so you may think, okay, I've got the left-handed Cronenworth coming up to the plate. The righty-righty matchup was better, but Eflin has reverse splits. Against left-handed hitters, they're only hitting 191 against him, where right-handed hitters are hitting 261 coming into tonight's game.
And Cronenworth also has reverse splits in terms of damage. He's done more damage against lefties than righties. And there's strike one. Eflin's only walked 12 total guys this year. 2 of them in that last start against Oakland. One ball, one strike. Padres do have the lowest swing percentage in Major League Baseball, so they see a lot of pitches generally. This will be the 20th pitch of the first inning for Zach Eflin. Where do you go here?
I'm going out of the zone. I'm going to go away. Run something, a sinker out on the corner. That's where I'm going. He may do the Maddox move too and try and get him inside. Looks like that's where he's going.
Mejia sets up inside, and there it is. Middle in, strike 3. Cronenworth gets punched out, and the Padres strand 2. Answered by Jardiance. What a day here in San Diego.
It's not day, it's baseball night in America. Come on, Jason.
Right where they are. Look at this.
No, it is. It's a beautiful day here in San Diego, no doubt.
You're the time police now.
Oh man,
that's who you are. Great. Here's Randy Arozarena. Just fouls the ball off himself. He homered again in this ballpark last night, and Kevin Cash was talking about it before the game and yesterday as well after the game to the reporters. And he said, I said to Randy, do you like hitting here? And he smiled, big smile, said, yeah, I do.
I mean, there's some ballparks where you just see the ball well. There's other ballparks that you can't pick up a thing, and it wouldn't matter if they put a ball on a tee, you weren't going to hit it.
It was taken all the way there. I mean, the numbers are ridiculous. That was basically his entree into Major League Baseball and into the national awareness of him and who he is, was that playoff run. Again, there were neutral sites in the postseason in 2020, and the Rays made their home here.
I think the interesting thing about it, though, is you're playing basically in empty venues, right? And so you didn't have that nervousness or...
Blake Snell has struck out 4 in a row in his first start against the Tampa Bay Rays.
I mean, just blowing that fastball by, guys. He's been able to pinpoint too. He's gone away, he's gone up, he's gone down. And look, we talked, and there, I'll be honest with you, I wasn't sure what to expect, and I thought the emotional high of pitching against the Rays might get to Blake Snell. It hasn't.
I mean, command at points in his career has been the thing that's bit him, and that's not the case right now. This is fun to watch, and here is Paredes, who takes a called strike, 1-1. It was of interest to both managers, and you don't see that at all times in Major League Baseball, just the emotional connection of Blake Snell to this team, especially with the pitching coach for the Rays, Kyle Snyder, who had him in A-ball in Bowling Green 10 years ago. He was the pitching coordinator for the organization in 2014. Had him in AAA. A very tight relationship for Snyder and Snell. One, two. And that got him in the foot. First base runner is Paredes on a hit by pitch. Our Indeed player resume, it's Blake Snell. Look how young he was.
Right.
2011 draftee, 18 years old. Cy Young in 2018. Obviously that game 6 in 2020 where he came out of the game, then moves to San Diego. A 3.78 ERA is nothing to sneeze at, but trying to get even closer to the level he was at with Tampa Bay. What do you like most about Blake Snell when he's on?
Just the talent level. I mean, you're not going to be able to teach the fastball. You're not going to be able to teach the talent. But what you can hope is the maturation, the emotions. And I think too that something, him from Tampa Bay to the Padres, I mean, it's a much different environment. It's the team culture. They're made up of different players. And he's still, I think, getting acclimated to what goes on here. And there's been a lot of turnover. There's been managerial changes. I mean, it would be great if you could say, well, that shouldn't matter, and you should X all that out and just go out and pitch, or just go out and play. But that's not reality.
I mean, end of your career, you jumped from clubhouse to clubhouse a couple of times after a long run with the Dodgers. That had to feel different.
It was different, but I wasn't young, and I wasn't trying to prove anything. This man right here is he's still chasing that big payday.
You know, it's interesting. He's a former Cy Young winner, so people might say, well, what's he chasing? But
well, he's chasing. He's in the middle of his career. He's got something coming in another year or two where he is going to be marketable, and he's one of the best in the game when he's right. When he's right.
One ball, two strikes. Another strikeout. Snell, more fire, his 5th punch out.
Tell you what, if I'm a Padre fielder right now, I might as well just not even bother with a glove out there. Snell has recorded all 5 outs himself. 4 of those 5 strikeouts swinging.
Here's Manuel Margot. See if he goes after the first pitch here. He does, trying to avoid strike 3. Can't get to strike 3 without strike 1. Although that's where he is right now. Blake Snell, his career high is 13 strikeouts. He's done it 4 times. You know, it's interesting the start to this game because he's been unhittable literally, but Bob Melvin also has this goal of getting him into games deeper and longer, and strikeouts fly in the face of that.
Yeah, but I think Bob Melvin would trade that right now. Like this dominance right now, again, all 5 outs by strikeout.
On the ground to third, the Padres infield gets to play today. Margot is out. Machado throws him out. Blake Snell has been outstanding so far. Here at this ballpark, which has been the home to the Padres for nearly 20 years now. First pitch, Gary Sanchez, strike 1 to the catcher who joined up in late May with this San Diego team. Former Yankee and very briefly New York Met this year for all of 6 at-bats.
Made quite a splash with the Padres so far. 6 home runs.
Yeah, 12 hits, 8 for extra bases. New clubhouses like that. Popped up on the infield right-hand side for Walls. Baseball fans, don't forget to enter for your chance to win $10,000 for free playing Fox Bet Super 6. Just download the free Super 6 app on your phone now and then enter your 6 baseball predictions in the MLB Super 6 Challenge for a chance to win. Just 6 correct picks can have you winning big. EK, do you have any surefire baseball predictions that you would like to share right now that people can bank on forever and for always this year?
Forever and always?
Yeah, for this season.
Dodgers will be active in the trade deadline. How's that for you?
Careful on that limb.
There you go. There you go. Say that.
There's going to be a really interesting division down the stretch, isn't it?
I think with the Padres, the Dodgers, the Diamondbacks, the Giants. I mean, right now you could make a case for any one of those ball clubs, and you could say, yeah. But I think all of them have vulnerabilities, and that's why I say I do believe the Dodgers will be active.
Dodgers are 39-31 after the loss last night to the Giants, and one of the stranger plays you'll ever see in baseball history. Pop up, it gets thrown down the right field line and eventually leads to an out at third base.
Let's just say that it's one of the strangest plays that you'll ever see, and the last place you think you would see it would be at the big league level.
Yep.
I got a better chance of seeing that thing at the 10-year-old local Little League field. But that just goes to show you anything can happen anywhere.
3-1 is inside and ball 4. Carpenter takes the second walk for San Diego against Eflin already.
So you talked about Eflin and his ability to control the strike zone. That's his 9th walk in just 28 2/3 innings on the road this year. And that he road versus home, he's only got 4 walks at home, 43 innings.
See if the Padres keep being patient with him here, and Kim takes a first pitch strike. Beloved middle infielder here, the 27-year-old who started his Korean baseball career in his teenage years in the KBO. It doesn't take long for the Padre fans to start the Ha Song Kim chant.
He's a fun player to watch. Has been great defensively. A lot of energy. He's tied with the team lead in stolen bases with Fernando Tatis Jr. at 11.
As you're saying that, there's the chant. 0-2. He got a piece.
See, with Kim up, you look at that whole right side of the infield just wide open, basically giving it to him.
Holding Carpenter on at first with Diaz. And that strays away. A breaking ball, 1-2. To right field. Margot is there coming toward the line, and 2 down. This Tampa Bay staff overall has been outstanding, but you look at McClanahan and Eflin. McClanahan started yesterday. The Rays are 10-2 and Zach Eflin starts this year, and McClanahan's only had a couple of losses to his name as well when he has started. And they've weathered a bunch of pitching injuries, EK.
Well, a lot of that has to do with their offense. Not only good pitching, but Eflin among the league leaders in run support. But you're right, they have weathered the storm, especially in the starting rotation.
Soft away, 1 ball, 1 strike. I mean, Shane Baz out after Tommy John surgery. Jeffrey Springs the same. Drew Rasmussen, the strained flexor, and then Josh Fleming with some elbow inflammation. Those are 4 guys that they obviously love to have who are out. Some injuries in the bullpen as well. Lifted to left, and Randy Arozarena in shadows to make the catch to finish off Grisham and the Padres in the 2nd inning. We're scoreless at Petco Park, the home of the Padres since the end of old Jack Murphy Stadium and Qualcomm Stadium. Lane Field was the home of the AAA Padres, the minor league Padres back in the day. There's a park commemorating that not far from here at Petco. You never got to play in this lovely new hamlet, did you?
I did not.
Yeah.
Lovely new hamlet. I like that.
Yeah.
I like that.
Very Shakespearean. 0-1 to Mejia, who was part of that Blake Snell deal. And it is 0-2.
Now, one of the great venues of all of baseball, and the electricity that the fans provide here.
Check swing, he went. Plate umpire Jim Wolf calls it himself. 6 strikeouts for Blake Snell in his first outing against his former team.
You see Mejia offers it that ball bounced in front of home plate. That just gives you an indication of the type of stuff that Snell has working for him this early evening.
And to be clear, if you haven't seen Tampa Bay play so far this year, they're 29 over 500 for a reason. They are the best offense in baseball in just about any metric. Manny Machado, what a snare, and throw to first, 2 down.
He hits his ball down the line, and as Don Orsillo would say, the great announcer for the Padres, you just got Machado. Great play by Manny right there. You know, more importantly, defense hasn't even been involved, and for Manny to be aware and be ready to make a play like that, it speaks of his excellence.
So that matters to a defense, that you haven't been involved in the game.
100%. You're standing around out there, right? I mean, it's great that you're getting strikeouts, but now you've got to react and make a great play like that.
This is inside on Yandy Diaz, and it clipped the bat. It's 0-2. Don, by the way, very clearly is at his outdoor dining table right now, enjoying something he just grilled.
I don't know. I saw Donnie the other day. He looks great, in phenomenal shape. He turned back the clock. Looks like he's getting ready for an Ironman.
0-2, hit in the air, well hit, right center field to the warning track and the wall, and that one kicks back in. Tatis gave it a run. It is, in fact, the first hit for Tampa Bay, and 2 bases for Yandy Diaz, who's down at second.
You just hope he got something in his eyes or something. Yeah, that's what it looks like. It's a fastball out over the plate. We talk about Diaz's ability to go the other way, but this year he's doing things with power. Tatis, what a great effort. Again, no regard for his body. See Diaz going in head first, and just a hard tag. You were just wondering, again, head first, you always wonder, oh, the shoulder, the finger, the hand, but just the tag. I would be more worried about Tatis right there. I mean, the way he went into the wall, I'm just thinking, oh, of all people, because he is just so valuable.
Well, and he didn't really brace himself.
No, he didn't. Looked like he was going to run through the darn thing.
Everybody's okay. Diaz at second base. Here is Wander Franco. And a first pitch outside, ball 1. That was a pretty square hit, by the way, of glove to face from Xander Bogaerts to Yandy Diaz. That was a full face burger.
It's pretty fair contact of wall to face out for Tatis in right field, too.
It was a 1-to-1 ratio of contact. The breaking ball 1-1 to Wander Franco. Swing and a miss, off speed, down and away, 1-2. Throw him a fastball here? I wouldn't imagine.
No, I'm going out of the zone again. I'm going to try to use his aggressiveness against him.
One-two. Loop to the right-hand side. Tatis Jr. makes the catch, and the inning is over. First hit for Tampa Bay. No harm done to Snell. Or visit MLB.com/vote to vote daily and decide who represents your favorite team this summer. First pitch called a strike to Tatis Jr., who was in the box with 49 seconds to go in the break. So he's been ready for this AB for a while, and he's going to take advantage of it. 0-2. At least 2 hits in 8 of his last 14 games, and this team was good without him, but they are better with him.
Again, the energy, the talent. You know, we're looking at two of the 5 or 6 best players in all of baseball this evening. Wander Franco at short for the Rays, and Tatis Jr. out in right field. And
5 or 6 other guys who have the talent to be big stars. To shortstop, Wander Franco makes it look very simple. 1 down. This middle infield for the Rays is just phenomenal.
No, they're sick. They're sick. You got Walls at second, and Franco, who, you know, when you talk about best all-around players in the game, he's top 3, right? I mean, you got Ohtani is by himself. Like, he shouldn't even count. That's his own category.
So
Franco's
he's
right there. Ohtani is the default answer to anything that you're talking about that is exemplary in Major League Baseball.
Right.
Pitching or hitting.
But that doesn't mean other people shouldn't win awards as well, as what you're saying.
Well, there's the Ohtani Award,
right.
and then there's everybody else.
Get him his own statue yearly, and then give the rest of the stuff to everybody else. This Padres offense has stranded 3 runners so far. They left on 2 in the first inning and 1 in the second.
So, and here's something that I mentioned earlier in the game, and that, you know, on the surface, people may not understand it. The Padres had a runner at second base, nobody out, went 0 for 3 with a walk. The guy didn't move off of second base. They had a runner at first with 1 out. Go 0 for 2. The guy did not move from first base. And that's why I say Tatis is at second base at the beginning of the game, nobody out. I'll take a ground ball out to get him to third. Like, I'll take that instead of a walk. I'll take it. Just get him to third.
That's the second strikeout looking for Soto, by the way.
Right? You know. Went inside again. Remember that pitch that he was called out in his first at-bat was just a bit off the plate, but it was in just like that. That pitch got the plate. Jim Wolf rung him up.
You're talking about runners not moving. Bob Melvin has countered that in some ways just in the last 3 weeks or so. They've got more than half their stolen bases for the year the last 3.5 weeks.
I mean, you've got to create. I mean, you're not going to go to the extreme of really turning back the clock and going hitting and running.
Right.
But you're at a point right now where you're getting into the end of June, and is this a trend? Is this the way the team is? And maybe you have to start forcing the issue.
2-0, shortstop Franco up to throw, and it's dropped on the scoop by Diaz. An exceptional effort by Franco, but he short hopped his first baseman.
Diaz will tell you that he should have had that. Yes, it was a ball in the dirt, but it wasn't a very difficult pick. Franco makes a heck of a play. We talk about him being one of the top players in all of baseball. That's not a very difficult pick. If Diaz can just get that glove out there a little further. You see it hits him in the heel part of the glove. And he wasn't really fully extended like he could be with that glove to get it closer to the short hop.
So you're saying, as somebody who played the position, the further you extend the glove, the more you can change the hop for yourself.
Well, you change a hop, it's a shorter hop, right? And it doesn't have the ability to hit the palm of your glove. You can get it out there. It's almost like you're going to catch it. You take away the room for air. Speaking about air, like Franco makes a great play and gets an E6 on that.
What's the most important thing to do as a first baseman in a situation like that?
Catch the ball. Look, you got one thing to do over at first base is to catch the ball.
Yeah.
You worry about touching the base. You worry about all, because if you don't catch the ball, you're not getting anybody out. That one on there, Diaz, again, he's just got to be a little more extended with that glove.
1-2 for Bogaerts. And Eflin steps off. That's one disengagement. Machado only 2 stolen bases so far this year, so he's not a big threat to run. One, two. You thought that was a pitch around in the first inning of Bogaerts, right?
I did. I don't, not necessarily a pitch around, but they were just trying to nibble. They didn't care if they walked.
2-2. Wave and a miss. Strike 3. Out of the zone. He gets Bogaerts to chase. Still no score after 3. Geico, and see how easy it is to bundle all your insurance needs. No score, top of the 4th inning here in San Diego, and we are joined by Michael Milken. This is the 27th year of the Home Run Challenge. So good to see you again. Always a pleasure.
So to see the #1 hitter in this Home Run Challenge, Mr. Karros here.
First pitch swing and a ground ball to second base for Ha-Seong Kim to throw out Harold Ramirez.
What a fantastic day for baseball. And as we are on our 27th Home Run Challenge, seeding every team in baseball, and today every home run is worth $100,000. So we'd like to see a few home runs today.
$100,000 throughout baseball, every home run, huh? All right.
So this opportunity, 100%, as you know, goes to prostate cancer research. And the death rates dropped by 50% since we started this program 27 years ago.
For folks who aren't aware, why is this so close to your heart, and why does this matter so much to you, Michael?
Well, I was diagnosed with prostate cancer 30 years ago. I had been funding cancer research for 20 years, knew very little about prostate cancer, and luckily I had that simple blood test that men can take, a PSA test. It's an early warning system, and we came up with this idea of come out to the ballpark, remind your dad, your brother, your co-worker to get tested for prostate cancer. And thanks to Major League Baseball and Fox and all the teams, men are now getting the simple blood test, and the death rate's down, and the 70 million we've raised from home runs.
Maybe you should have an ancillary strikeout challenge for today with Blake Snell as well.
Well, he's off to an unbelievable game here today. We used to think about doing it for strikeouts, but we stayed for home runs. I don't know if you remember, Eric, in the very first years, we used to send a little note to the pitchers when they gave up the home runs.
How many stadiums have you been to already this year? I hope people know how close this is to your heart because you are grinding.
Well, I think the awareness, this is the #1 awareness program with the concept of men getting checked for their health. And women are much more likely to visit doctors in their lifetime, be responsible for their kids, but men often don't go to the doctor for decades at a time. And so that was the idea, just encourage you to get tested. Today there's more than 20 therapies, so even if you didn't catch it early, you should live a normal life. 1 in 8 men in America will be diagnosed with prostate cancer. And the world has changed so much since we started this program. Tomorrow there'll be 3 to 4 million men enjoying Father's Day with their families in total remission who had prostate cancer. And you can go to pcf.org and learn all about the Home Run Challenge and learn all about what we've learned in nutrition, and which makes a big difference today, not just for prostate cancer. And there's almost 16 million people that have had any form of cancer living normal lives today. So the advances in this area have been so dramatic.
And it's just, you know, you're not just talking about prostate cancer. I mean, obviously that's what we're talking about this afternoon, tonight. But you're promoting the fight against cancer. I mean, that's your ultimate goal, is to eradicate the disease.
That is true. And the mutations in prostate cancer are found in over 70 other cancers. And in fact, a disease like colon cancer, 90% of the people that die of colon cancer have a particular mutation that's found in 28% of prostate cancer. So the world has changed. When we started this many years ago, people thought if you have cancer, it's a death sentence. Today, it is no longer a death sentence. And there's dramatic changes that have occurred.
You've talked about early detection over the years and how important that is. What's one thing somebody at home who's not dealt with this can do to have as much preparation as possible in terms of their medical care?
Well, when you get your cholesterol checked, just tell the doctor you want to test the blood for prostate cancer, that PSA exam. In this area, I don't know if everyone's fully aware of it, but this greater San Diego area up to La Jolla has more biotech and bioscience companies headquartered in this area than any other part of the country. And so a lot of the work has gone on in this area of the country. And when you look at this ballpark and the weather and the beautiful day, there's a little factoid. A lot of people that win a Nobel Prize in science within 2 years move to the greater San Diego area, which has the best weather in the continental United States.
Yeah, 2 years feels like too long of a time, I think, to miss out on this. Why baseball, and why does baseball matter so much to this aim for you?
There was a bunch of things our research showed. One, getting vitamin D actually decreases your chance of getting prostate cancer. So if you're in Southern Europe, you have a lower incidence coupled with the diet, the Mediterranean diet, than normal than in Northern Europe. So get out to the ballpark. It was the great American pastime. You know, we thought about basketball or hockey, but it's really hard to have a conversation, you know, with someone at one of those matches. Now today, with this pitch clock of 20 seconds, we have less time to interact than we used to. But just to get outside, it's a whole different experience to be able to do that.
Well, that's why we've invoked this meeting at the mound right here, to give us some more time to talk about what's going on here.
I think people don't realize how far research has driven, Eric, since you first were hitting home runs for us in the Home Run Challenge. And maybe people don't remember, Fox was covering the game.
Yep.
And you were in the dugout, Dodgers versus the Cubs. the previous season, but this was the Yankees versus the Cubs, and both Joe Torre, manager of the Yankees, and Dusty Baker at the time, manager of the Cubs. I had run out to Dusty before the game and showed him that you hit 1 home run in every 6 at-bats, and so we had to have you in the starting lineup.
Yeah, I remember you tried to get me in the lineup.
Did you get him in?
Well, we didn't get him in because he wanted to start against
Choi.
Clemens. He started Choi, but in the 5th or 6th innings, there's a pop in front of home base. Woods, the pitcher, comes down, catches the ball, brings his elbow down, and knocks out the first baseman.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
Out of the right field bleachers comes an ambulance, takes him to the hospital, and out of the dugout comes the young and dashing Eric Harris. And Clemens is going for his 300th victory that day. He's up 1-0. It's in the 6th or 7th. Eric comes up, hits a ball foul out of the ballpark down the left field line, and 2 pitches later hits a home run. The Cubs win. And in the annals of Home Run Challenge, we raised $50,000 on that home run.
We raised money. That was bringing more awareness.
And you see how data works in baseball, right?
Well, so you know what, too? And Dusty Baker and Joe Torre, both prostate cancer survivors, correct? Yeah, I mean, that's...
There's a swing and a miss, strike 3. We've learned, as always, put Eric in the lineup and listen to Michael on all your lineup thoughts. Michael, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you. PCF.org.
Bottom 4 here at Petco Park in San Diego. We are still homerless and scoreless, and we thank Michael Milken for joining us to talk about the Home Run Challenge and a tremendous cause. You've known him for a long time.
And really what he's done for awareness and raising money, and you know, not only prostate cancer, but he is fighting to eradicate cancer. Really, that's his mission right now. Can't say enough about what he means and what he's done.
So our crew is so good. So good. How good are they? They're so good. They looked up how many Home Run Challenge home runs you hit in your career. And the answer is 49.
Right. No, I look at it. I wish the Home Run Challenge was going on for the whole season. I would have had one heck of a career.
You wish the entire season was made up of Home Run Challenge.
Got it.
That's awesome. It's the perfect example of what the platform of baseball can be.
Right.
2-2 to Cronenworth from Zach Eflin, and that's a roped foul first base side. Since Jake Cronenworth debuted in Major League Baseball, he has the 9th most extra base hits across the game. As this to first base is for Yandy Diaz, and 1 down. And it's why, even though he's been about league average, according to like OPS plus, Bob Melvin feels like he could get more out of Jake Cronenworth considering his past.
Well, again, you're looking at his past and you're hoping at some point that he reverts back to the baseball card and the numbers on the back of him. So far, he hasn't gotten going, but that's their hope. Right, but that's the same thing. I mean, you look at Manny Machado. He hasn't got going yet either.
And Gary Sanchez. And a first pitch just below the zone for ball 1. For the Padres, this is game number 70 this year. They'll have 92 left after this game. A pretty bunched up National League West with the Giants entering play 4.5 back, the Dodgers 3 back, and they'll play in about 45 minutes in Los Angeles. Fly ball right-hand side. Walls is out. Margot is in. And Manuel Margot and his gleaming sunglasses have out number 2. Watch baseball live or on demand on your favorite supported devices. Save 50% for Father's Day through June the 18th. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.tv for details. How many games do you watch at once?
Probably 2 or 3. I'll bounce around.
Yeah.
I mean, it just depends who's on and what the situations are. But I will say this, with the pitch clock, I'll sit down and watch a game now.
Carpenter in the air, left center field into the shadows, and Arozarena does make the catch. It's a 1-pitch out, no score in San Diego. Beautiful sunshine here in San Diego. No score and just a couple of hits on the board combined against Blake Snell and Zach Eflin. And Francisco Mejia takes a first pitch from Snell. Called strike 1. 23 pitches last inning for Snell because of back-to-back walks with 2 outs, but he pitched over it. Love the story from back in the day about the nickname Snellzilla that he's got on his social media, that his brother had the nickname. His older brother had the nickname Snellzilla, and he said, no, it fits me better. So he took it. Just took it. It's mine now. On the ground, first base side, tough play. Cronenworth giving ground, and then he throws it to nowhere in particular because there was no real play to make. Mejia, a 2-strike single.
Well, you watch Blake Snell, and he just doesn't really get off the mound. I mean, he takes a step, then looks at what's going on, and he knows that's on him right there. It's a nice play by Cronenworth. Going back to the outfield grass.
Now here is a 9-hitter who can wreck your day. Jose Siri, who has 10 home runs since May the 7th. First pitch called inside. Jim Wolf sounds like he's mic'd up back behind the plate. He's giving us locations, which is great, very helpful. It's because he is mic'd up.
And one of the better umpires in the league, been around for a number of years. You don't want to mess with those biceps either.
Oh, no. He's the Ed Hochuli.
It almost looks like he oiled those things up.
You think so?
Ready for a bodybuilding contest. You could get in there with those things. San Diego, what is it? Sun's out, guns out.
That's right. That's how you do it down here in Southern California. Ooh, 2-0 off speed away, 2-1. You don't often see Siri asking other people questions, but
oh, there you are.
There was one. 2-1, fouled away. 2-2. That was just short of the scribes over there. To our right, they're reenacting the plays in the main press box area that they could have made. 2-2. Wave and a miss, strike 3. Snell comes back from down 2-0 for his 9th strikeout.
That's such a great pitch. It's a breaking ball, curveball, down and away. You know, not only does he fool him with the pitch selection, but the location. Impossible for Siri to make contact.
So the league's hitting exactly, coming into today, 100 against Snell's breaking balls. Curveball, slider, which he throws not a ton, but enough that 100 is a glaring number.
Diaz, the only one that's really absolutely smoked a ball off of Snell, that hard hit ball off the right field wall.
He thought he might have had it off the bat. Instead, it was a 2-base hit. And he's an interesting guy, Yandy Diaz, because his ground ball rate is the lowest of his career this year.
Well, and I think one of the things that, talking to Tampa Bay management, They gave him the multi-year deal prior to this season. So, you know, instead of just being comfortable, and he's expanded what he's trying to do as a hitter. One of those things is drive the ball in the air.
So because he's not really having to prove something to somebody, he can experiment a little bit.
I've got 3 years. I can do things maybe a little out of my comfort zone, and if it doesn't work, oh, so be it. I'm set for a couple of years.
You're gonna have to get away from that ball. It's 3-1. I mean, it's part of the reason he's got an on-base plus slugging north of 900.
Well, it's the power this year, right? As you just mentioned, he's driving the ball in the air. Comes into tonight with 12 home runs.
Five guys at least 12 home runs on this roster. 3-1 is outside. It's ball 4. The third walk for Tampa Bay, and 2 on with 1 out for Wander Franco.
Well, so the last 6 hitters, 3 walks and a base hit. And we watched Snell early in this game just dominating. Vulnerable right now, and really this is the last guy you want to face in this Tampa lineup, especially if you're a left-handed pitcher.
He's seen a lot of pitches as well. A lengthy at bat to a strikeout in the first, and here he takes strike 1. Franco slugging .602 on fastballs this year. That was a fastball well in. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Well, you just mentioned he started him off with the breaking ball, and then the fastball, really that's just for show. Not trying to throw a strike there. Now maybe he can open up the outer part of the plate.
To shortstop. Bogarts. Kim, and the turn not in time.
Well, we'll see if this comes back to bite the Padres. This is a tailor-made double play. Bogarts, the easy hop, but just can't get a good grip on it. Has to regroup, and because he does that, not able to turn the double play. Here's another guy that does damage against left-handed pitching. Tampa's still in business.
The San Diego team is not used to that either. This has been one of, if not the best defensive team in Major League Baseball this year. Here is Ramirez. Ball 1.
Snell, though, coming into tonight's game, 2 outs, runners in scoring position, the best in the National League. Hitters were only 2 for 22 against him. Finds himself in that spot now.
He was there last inning as well and didn't give up a run. And it's 1-1. Even with an 0 for 2 today, Harold Ramirez is 10 for his last 19 against lefties. If there was an all-star team for facing left-handed pitching, he would probably lead off. Turned him all inside out. 1-2.
So you just mentioned how good Ramirez is against left-handed pitching. Look at this pitch that he offers at. It bounces in the dirt. It's clearly not even a strike. But again, that goes to show you how good Snell's stuff is.
Look at how gaudy those numbers are. 1-2. A 1 hopper. This will be a stolen base for Franco. He was off with the pitch, and so he's into second. He went back shoe slider earlier. 2-2. Snell to Ramirez. Swing and a miss, strike 3. He went soft away for strikeout number 10, and the Rays maroon a couple more. No score in the bottom of the 5th inning as the offensive ships have run aground so far at Petco Park. Zach Eflin, Blake Snell. I would say this is great fun to watch, but you're a hitter, so I don't know that you think that.
No, but you have to appreciate the good pitch. I mean, you've got 2 excellent pitchers. Now you've also got the shadows creeping in.
And a bunt from Kim, third base side. Paredes, tough play, not in time. Kim had the call before Mike Malinsky, the first base umpire.
But Kim puts his down. Not only does he surprise Paredes, but he also puts it in a great spot. Paredes does a nice job. Comes in, bare hands that thing. Makes a pretty decent throw. Just really a nice job by the young man at first base.
So Kim is on. Grisham, the batter. He pops up a bunt. Back of the mound, and somehow that helium ball is a base hit.
So I don't know if he was trying to do it, but he was definitely trying to hit that thing hard. You see kind of chops at the thing, and look, I don't know that you're that good that you're going to be popping it over the pitcher's head, but for the sake of pumping up Trent Grisham, we're going to say he did that on purpose. What do you think? No?
Sure. Well, it's a pop-up bunt store inside Slam Diego here in the 5th inning, and now Tatis lays one down for himself, and a spinning throw to first by Mejia is the first out of the inning on 3 straight bunts by the Padres.
So here's what I'm going to say. I mean, he's having fun. He just drops a bunt. He tries to get it down. But if the worst thing that can happen is there's runners on 2nd and 3rd now in this situation. And this, where the Padres offense has been, that was a great play. And I'll say it's a great play because they've been anemic with runners in scoring position. They haven't been able to do a thing. You know what, Jason? You don't need to get hits right now to score a run. So you can still go 0 for 1 or 0 for 2 with runner in scoring position. I look at over the long haul, do you want to see Tatis doing that? 100% no, N-O. But with the way they're going and what's going on right now and trying to get Soto and Machado going, that is a great team play, a great team play.
I feel like I'm required to ask you, is this a squeeze from Soto?
Those guys wouldn't do it. Soto and Machado aren't doing that. They're up there swinging the bat. That's why I say, like, the fact that Tatis just did that, I mean, again, he's a great player, but he's going, I'm setting you 2 up. I'm doing it for you 2 right here.
Soto takes the first pitch, strike 1. So look, when is the last time in Major League Baseball, we all wonder, that there were 3 straight bunts on 3 straight pitches?
Are you going to tell us?
Yeah, after sparks fly off the keyboard for a while. 0-1. In the air, center field on a line and falling quickly into the glove of Siri. His throw won't be in time, and the Padres, after the bunt festival, score the first run this afternoon.
That's all Fernando Tatis Jr. right there. By getting the runners over. So here we've gone bunt, bunt, sack, sack. And the Padres have a run. Still do not have a hit with runners in scoring position. Again, you're not going to do this type of thing over the long haul, but right now, in this moment, all for it.
Manny being some other Manny. Showing bunt. Look, the only counter And this has been great offense. I agree with you. The only counter is the Rays lead the American League in home runs. You're only up a run now.
I don't care. Snell's dominating. Like, would you take your chances right now? Like, I'm taking my chances.
You told me to counter.
I mean, like
you
right
said you
now,
don't care.
No, right now, if I'm not. So, I get it. I want the Padres banging the ball all over the park. But you know what? They're not.
Yeah.
They're not. So, you know what? Find another way to score a run. And especially with the way Snell's pitching. I mean, you owe it to Snell to at least get him a couple runs. Instead of just going up there and swinging aimlessly. And, you know, look at the establishment, everybody's going to say, oh, you never bunt. And I get it. I wouldn't either. But for this, in this situation, love it.
Yeah, for the short term, it makes a lot of sense.
For right now, it makes sense.
I'm totally with you. But that counter was just sitting in the back of my mind.
Just
I
wanted
just had to get it out.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair.
You know, sometimes you're watching a game, you just have to say it.
Well, at least you didn't counter with, look, you dummy. Why didn't you?
The tone didn't convey that. 2-1 to Machado. Wave and a miss. That breaking ball for Eflin has the third highest whiff rate on curveballs in the American League. It's been really good for him this year.
There we go again, right? Your 2-strike timeout. But see, this is where, like, if I'm pitching, I'm waiting. If Manny gets in the box early, and there's still, I don't know, did he call timeout?
Yeah, the clock hasn't even started.
So here we go. He's ready at 17 seconds. I'm standing there on the mound until it gets to 1 second. Look at, he's doing it too. Eflin's.
Yeah, he put him in the deep freeze. Little chopper third base side. Paredes double clutch, and he couldn't find the ears on it. The Padres get another run.
Look, I've seen his buddy at shortstop do this play where he flips it up a couple times and then throws it over to first base. Reddish wasn't trying to do that. He just never got the handle on it. 2 runs in. Padres are up 2-0. There's not been a hit with runner in scoring position. And then you go back to that throw that Siri made to home. Should have never gone there. You weren't going to get the runner at home, but you let the runner go from second to third. Scores right there.
Yep, Grisham comes home because of that throw. And here's Xander Bogaerts. There goes the runner. Machado. Throw to second is not nearly in time. And the Padres are on the move in so many ways.
So we haven't seen this type of baseball by the Padres all year long. They're bunting, they're running, they're trying to steal bases, they're making things happen. That's not their identity, but what it does show is they are capable of playing like this.
And you know as well as anybody, in the playoffs, if you have that sort of range, if you do make the playoffs, it gives you a much better chance of advancing.
100%. You got to be multi-dimensional, and they have the ability to do it. They just haven't done it up to this point.
And it's energized this crowd once again. They've got the sellout record for this ballpark, and it's mid-June. Two-1. Grounded foul.
I mean, this game so far has been the antithesis of Slam Diego.
That's right.
Right? I mean,
and this is, you know, in some ways, the reason for the change in the shift is to get more balls in play because fans get energized by that. This is whacked to center field, but should be playable and is for Siri. But the Padres, with a series of bunts, take the lead. lot of activity on and in front of the mound so far, so there's some work being done on that mound. It's time now for our Above and Beyond, sponsored by Jersey Mike's. You love this stuff, don't you?
I didn't think that I would see that today, right? You get back-to-back bunts, and you got runners on first and second. This is the last thing I thought I'd see. First and second, Tatis Jr. up at the plate. That's a team AB right there. Moves guys over to second, third. Soto, sacrifice fly. Gets the runner in. Siri makes the throw home. Runner advances to third. And because that runner advances to third, Manny Machado, little tapper in front of third. Paredes can't make the play. 2-0 Padres. And you know what? Padres are 0 for 5 with runners in scoring position, yet they're up 2-0.
And they got the lead. Another microcosm within that, right? Juan Soto was 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts looking. Very patient hitter. He goes up in that situation and attacks the second pitch he sees.
Well, he had to attack the second pitch because he took the first pitch and he's down 0-1.
That's right.
So it's just like, look, I got to do something. And my man in front of me just set the table by bunting and sacrificing himself. And that's a thing you'd like to see with Soto, is go up there and be aggressive, make things happen. I get it. He could have walked. And somebody would say, oh, well, he walked. That's a good at-bat. I'm sorry, right now, that's not a good at-bat. You don't get the bases loaded. You saw Manny didn't hit the ball that well. Swing the bat sometimes, boys.
Or just at least make it parallel to the ground, right?
Right.
And you just
You don't
jab
have
at
to
it.
swing it, right? Just touch it, right? Just touch it.
Look, if you feel like as a manager it's going to be a low-scoring game, and it has been so far, especially with a bullpen that's got the ERA the Padres bullpen does, it makes a lot of sense for Bob Melvin.
So I in no way, shape, or form do I think Bob Melvin told Tatis Jr. to bunt, or any of those guys, but I think that he was absolutely okay with it.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, okay.
His reaction is great.
Great, yeah. He look at it. He doesn't care how it happens. He just wants runs.
And consistent runs, too.
Oh.
They've had big number games, then
Right.
suddenly the next game after they put up 1 or 0.
Exactly what he told us, right? Just can't get anything going. Well, they haven't swept a 3-game series all year. And this team with this offense and pitching, they should
be able to go on runs like that. 0-1 to Randy Arozarena, who evidently was signing baseballs from the crowd out in left field last night in between innings. He's made such a home here that people are asking him to sign stuff as a road left fielder.
For your kids.
Eight home runs in this ballpark. That tremendous eruption in 2020 in the postseason. He was the MVP of the LCS in this building. Where was the place that you hit like he hits here?
Oh, Colorado.
Yeah.
I mean, who doesn't? Right? Well, who doesn't?
I wish people could have seen your eyes light up
my
when you
goodness.
said Colorado.
That place. Oof.
Wave and a miss. 11 strikeouts. A confusing breaking ball. And let's get a game break from Chris Myers in LA. Chris, thank you. How about that? The Royals have lost 10 in a row. They're down 6 runs to the Angels. Ohtani, it's his 23rd home run, and the Angels lose.
Right?
That's
so Angels.
It's
Right?
why the internet meme exists. The tungsten Armo Doyle thing, right? That is the perfect example of that game. As Paredes is the only guy who's not struck out against Snell so far today. Strike called. This has been so interesting to watch Snell in a powder keg of emotion for him. Just label the strike zone for most of the day.
No, he's been absolutely dominant. And then Look, I didn't know what was coming, and I thought, to be honest with you, I thought the emotions would get the best of him. Completely proven me wrong this afternoon.
This game and connections do so many things to the heart and the mind, and it can push you over the top, it can sink you down below, and man, this has been one of those lift up the bus days for Blake Snell. 2-2. Another strikeout. That is number 12. He struck out at least once everybody in this lineup.
And I think a lot of times, watch where these pitches are that these guys are offering at. They're out of the zone. They think they are strikes. I'll say it again. You can tell how good a pitcher's stuff is by just watching the hitter in the box.
What do you watch to see that?
I watch the swings. I watch the pitches they offer at. And we've seen some odd swings. We've seen guys offer at pitches that bounced in front of home plate. A ton of chases out of the zone.
He's got a season high in swings and misses. He's tied his season high in strikeouts. He's one off his career high in strikeouts. That is there. It's a strike, 1-2. Can't wait to hear what he has to say after this game, too. 1-2 from Snell. High in the air on the infield. Xander Bogaerts makes the catch. 6 scoreless for Blake Snell against the team that he grew up with. It's for Blake Snell, tying a season high, 2 hits, 3 walks, and you know he's elated with that today. What a performance for Snell, as Cronenworth fouls the first pitch away here in the home 6. Jason Benetti, Eric Karros, and his 1160 OPS at Coors Field. It's a big number, EK.
It's a good place to hit.
Certainly.
Flies, right?
Somehow, by the way, you had a better OPS at the Kingdom. It was short time, but you hit 4 homers there in 5 games. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Going back to Blake Snell, we keep talking about how well he's thrown. I think Eflin has thrown a great ball game as well. I mean, he got bunted to death in that past inning, but he's kept this Padre lineup at bay. Padres are 0 for 5 with runners in scoring position.
For Eflin, that's strikeout number 5. Cronenworth is displeased. Listen to every MLB game live or on demand with At Bat. Plus, watch all minor league baseball and live look-ins on MLB Big Inning. No blackouts. Visit MLB.com/atbat for details. To your point on Eflin, the Padres have now had 23 plate appearances. They've hit the ball out of the infield 7 times. 7. That's a strike called. That bottom of the zone has had a little bit of give today. It's 1-1.
Well, if you're a pitcher this evening, you're happy with the strike zone. It's definitely been a pitcher's zone.
As you were saying. It's Steven Wilson getting loose in the Padre bullpen. This would be 3 in 5 days for him after throwing Tuesday and Wednesday.
Let's see if Eflin holds the ball again this time after the timeout. Nope.
Off his glove, ricocheting to second. Walls is over there to make the play. Taylor Walls for the year, according to outs above average, the StatCast number, is -5 in outs above average. And when we presented that to Kevin Cash, he was aghast.
-5 is not good.
It's not good.
Not good.
And it's surprising because Walls is all over highlight reels on the middle infield. But it shows there are some limitations, especially in the short run, to defensive metrics. We know that these are both very good defensive teams. And Walls is exceptional in a lot of ways at second base. Could you argue the two best defensive middle infields in baseball?
So I like the Cubs a lot.
Yeah.
Horner and Swanson. But yes.
Popped up into the shadows at shortstop, and Arozarena has to dodge Wander Franco. We'll go to the 7th, 2-0. Scoreless, and we look at his strikeouts tonight, brought to you by StatCast, powered by Google Cloud, and a dazzling array.
Well, it really was. I mean, you can't talk enough about the excellence of Blake Snell this evening, and the game, the magnitude, the emotional component. He was outstanding.
Just brilliant. He's given up 1 run in his last 25 innings, and he gives way to this gentleman.
Steven Wilson loves the sweeper, 4-seamer, basically a 2-pitch guy.
Oh, it's called a ball.
So there's 2 pitches right there. Jim Wolf just called balls at the top of the zone. Both of them were strikes. Wilson kind of looked at him after the first one, and that second one was even better. Called it a ball.
So 2-0, touch foul by Margot, 2-1. This Padres bullpen gives up the fewest base runners in Major League Baseball. 4th best relief ERA, number 1 in WHIP. And they have not really been heavily taxed. The starters have eaten up enough innings that the bullpen is 19th in usage so far this season in Major League Baseball. Hi there. 2-2. Another strikeout, number 13 for Padre pitching. Time for a game break. Chris Myers. Chris, thank you very much. Dane Dunning got the win for the Rangers. His ERA is 2 3/4. He has been outstanding for them. Who wins the AL West?
Man, that's a you're gonna have to talk to me in a few months, because there's 4 teams. I can tell you who's not going to win the AL West.
Who's that?
The A's.
You sure about that? They got hot recently.
Yeah, they're gonna. Yeah, no.
They won 2
That's the only thing I
Tampa.
can tell you. Yeah, they did. Absolutely.
Yeah.
But Mark Kotze and the organization, they're rebuilding and focusing on other things other than winning the division this year.
They have been in the news.
They have. That's where the focus,
unfortunately,
has been.
But I mean, Seattle took a loss in extra innings today, so they're 8.5 back. That's the Padres and Mariners feel similar to me. Would you agree or disagree?
Well, I think that, no, that's fair. You had higher expectations. They've underachieved. I don't know, though, that Seattle's got the pitching. Seattle's got the pitching. Deadline is going to change everything.
Yeah.
Somebody's going to do, and that's why try to make a prediction now. I mean, you don't even know what these teams are going to look like in a month and a half. And I can tell you, a lot of teams are going to be significantly different.
We saw it last year with Juan Soto coming here to San Diego. And the big deal of the deadline is there's a sweeper that's low. It's 3-1. Soto has driven in a run today on a sac fly. He was way out in front. Well, you have to figure that somebody in the West is going to be in position at least for a possible wild card. The only thing is,
do you really think that?
Well,
why can't 4 teams come out of the East?
They have to play each other some more later.
Right, but not a lot this year,
not
right? Everybody's playing everybody.
Strike 3. The AL East right now would have the best record of any division since 1969.
Well, I think I was reading something where 4 of those teams are in the top 11 in all of baseball as far as records, right?
Yep.
So if there's, theoretically 12 teams that make the postseason, I get it. You got to have 6 and 6, but I mean, I could make a case for 4 teams out of the East.
And then you have the National League where the Marlins are still holding fast. They're 9 over. You just saw in the NL East. Figure the NL West is going to bring you a wild card or 2.
There's 2 or 3 teams coming from the West, where there's 1 out of the Central.
In the air, left-hand side, Xander Bogaerts makes it a 1-2-3, bottom of the order for Steven Wilson. Stretch time in San Diego with the Padres up 2. Mattress Firm. Some family holidays across America or across the world, you play board games. And sometimes when you get together as a family and you're the Tatis family, you just hit bombs. That's what they do when they're together. Fernando Jr. and his father, tremendous major league player in his own right. And he will bat. Junior will third here in the 7th as Ha-Sung Kim, who started the bunt bonanza in the 5th inning, takes a strike.
Well, and you look at the corners here for Tampa Bay. They're both playing in, but he started the offense.
We'll change the scouting report very quickly. August 22nd, they have a bobblehead giveaway of Ha-Sung Kim as Sean Armstrong's the new pitcher for Tampa Bay. The bobblehead of Ha-Sung Kim has a removable helmet because of how often he loses his helmet, as he did on the bunt single back in the 5th. What would be removable on the Eric Karros bobblehead?
I'm not sure. It would not be the helmet. Well, maybe it would be. It would be the hat, just so, because I always just take my hat off with the hair.
Just to show off the hair.
That was the.
Kim pops it up, back of shortstop. Franco backpedaling, and he makes the catch for out number 1. Always have to show off the flow. Tomorrow, the final fight for the USFL playoffs is in prime time on Fox. It's the Philadelphia Stars battling the Michigan Panthers. 7 p.m. Eastern on Fox and the Fox Sports app. Our intrepid producer Brad Weimer and our director Dustin Denty knee deep in the USFL action this year.
They'll be working hard tomorrow.
As always.
As always.
Strike to Grisham.
This was part 2 of the bunt offense, the bunt attack that the Padres subjected the Rays to.
Some would say the sequel was better than the original because it was a bunt that went beyond the mound.
Right. I mean, it was perfect placement. Popped it up over the pitcher's head into nowhere land.
We have seen a barrel full of pop-ups. Paredes makes the catch.
I mean, his bunt pop-up went further than that full swinging pop-up right there.
That is very true. So here is Fernando Tatis Jr., who, as you said, is the guy who was the catalyst for the run-scoring plays.
Just watching him tonight does so many things. It hits the ball off the third baseman's glove in the first, and gets a hustle double. Tries to catch a ball, runs straight into the wall in right field, unable to catch it, but complete disregard for his body. Then bunts runners over to set up his teammate Soto to drive in a run. I mean, completely an unselfish game. Shows all types of ability in different arenas.
Yeah, Bob Melvin, though he would love to have more runs for the situation, has got to love the way this has played out for San Diego. Although there is strike 3, and that's 7 in a row retired by Rays pitching. Still 2-0. Nothing. San Diego the lead. The Padres have retired the last 8 Tampa Bay Rays, and they turn it over to Nick Martinez out of the bullpen after a scoreless 7th from Steven Wilson. We're ready to play. The PA was playing concert venue for the moment. Sometimes the music sort of fades down, but is still on. That was loud.
That was loud.
A lot of changeup from Martinez.
That's what he likes to throw. The changeup, cutter, sinker, curve, and a four-seamer. He can get it up there, though, too.
0-2.
I mean, some might argue that this is the most important part of the game, this 8th inning, the top of the lineup right now for the Rays. Yet it's not Josh Hader, it's Martinez.
Strike 3, that hovered in on the inside corner, and 1 down. That's 15 strikeouts for the best offense in Major League Baseball.
Again, it just speaks to volumes of San Diego Padre pitching. You look at this offense, 51 wins, and they don't do it just offensively swinging the bat. They also do it on the base pass. 94 stolen bases. But this Padres staff, they've been able to do this evening.
Tampa Bay scored nearly 7 runs a game in April, which is otherworldly. They got off to that great start, and it's not like they've been poor since then. It's 5 runs a game in May, 4 3/4 in June. That's the offense being shut out today.
Well, that's one of the things that, you know, we had spoke to Kevin Cash, Rays manager, prior to the game, and we asked him if this offense was sustainable, and he felt like it could be sustainable in that the pitch selection, the controlling of the strike zone, and the home run pace, probably not. But he was confident in his offense.
Wrapped to second, Ha-Sung Kim, 2 gone.
I think one of the reasons, too, you can be confident in this offense is it's not built around 1 or 2 players. There's a plethora of options. All the guys aren't going to go cold all at once. Theoretically, they shouldn't, right? So, you know, a handful aren't as hot. Other ones carry the load. And that's the hope the rest of the year.
First pitch, ground ball to third. Machado charging and throwing, and that is very quickly that 7-pitch inning for Martinez. Phone and pet health insurance. Great father-son combination. The late Tony Gwynn, his son Tony Gwynn Jr. Tony commemorated here at Petco Park. His son Tony Jr., the radio analyst for the Padres. And 8 years ago now, it feels like much more recently than that, but 8 years ago on Father's Day, Tony Gwynn Jr. was playing in AAA, and he had a walk-off base hit on Father's Day not long after his father had passed. One of those beautiful moments where you believe that some days something else is happening at the ballpark that you just can't see.
Right.
for the younger crowd. How good was Tony Gwynn?
Oh, he was the best pure hitter that I had ever seen. I mean, it didn't matter who was on the mound. And you look at some of his numbers against Hall of Fame pitchers, and it's crazy. I mean, he made Hall of Fame pitchers look pedestrian. I grew up watching Tony Gwynn. I grew up in the San Diego area and then had the fortunate opportunity to play against him. Heck, I used to go to San Diego State Aztec basketball games when he was running the point. I mean, it just an unbelievable athlete, better human being.
What was it like watching him hit?
Well, it was magic. I mean, the joke was just throw it down the middle, because to try to game plan for him, it was just it was crazy. You know, he made a living hitting the ball the other way in between that short third hole, 6'5". But he could do. I mean, one year, you know, he decided to hit home runs, hit over 20 home runs. But he was never overmatched at the plate, ever.
There's ball 4. Soto takes a walk. Never overmatched, no matter what the guy had.
That's what I say. You know, the Hall of Fame guys he made look pedestrian. You look at his numbers off of Greg Maddux or John Smoltz or Glavine, the 3 Hall of Famers from the 90s era in Atlanta. He was on his own planet as far as hitting.
Right hand side, tough play. Walls, he scoops and spins and throws, and an out called at first base. Question is, did Diaz keep the bag as he fielded the ball?
Before we see it, I'm going to say yes, right? Because it just, first basemen always look like they're coming off. But I bet you he's holding the bag when he catches the ball. Yep. That's a heck of a play. You've got the runner coming up your back. Short hops it. Well, we'll see. We'll have to look.
San Diego is challenging the out call at first base.
What they will do is they will combine those 2 looks we saw, marry the time codes, and use them both together to decide whether or not he came off.
We don't just have a shot here. Maybe we have a shot. That looks like he's on right there. Yeah.
Crowd's reacting to a shot they just saw.
Yeah, that one. I mean, I don't even think you have to go to the time codes on that one, right?
I think you're right. It looks like a stands, right? Maybe not confirmed, but stands.
Right, there you go. Stands.
While we have a moment, Tony Gwynn was 1,024 OPS against Greg Maddux. On base 485.
Right. That's like, say that again. 1,024 OPS against one of the greatest pitchers in the game.
The field stands. Runner is out. San Diego loses their challenge.
Brilliant play by Walls. A rangy effort there.
Better play by Diaz for me. I mean, again, you've got the runner coming up your back as a first baseman, and you're short hopping it. That's a heck of a play by Diaz.
Xander Bogaerts. Strike 1. While we're on the subject of Tony Gwynn versus former Atlanta Braves Hall of Famers, and I hate to do this on a week he has off.
Okay, go ahead.
But John Smoltz, 1,224 OPS.
Yeah, right. I mean, Maddux looked like he was dealing against Tony compared to his numbers against Smoltz, right?
It's truly amazing. But Ron Darling, a good friend, 1,045 OPS against him.
Was a good friend.
Yeah, that's over. Sorry, Ronnie. It's been good knowing you. 0-2 to shortstop. Wander Franco just ran Soto back to second and throws out Bogaerts. 2 gone. This summer, it's the 2023 FIFA Women's World Cup, with the defending champion U.S. national team chasing a historic 3rd win in a row. Don't miss the action when the tournament kicks off July 20th on the networks of Fox Sports. Chance for the very rare three-peat coming up for the U.S. women's national team. First pitch foul from Cronenworth. It'd be the first time ever for a three-peat in the Women's World Cup. Oh, 1 way upstairs. Padres looking for a little cushion for this lead going into the 9th, when the Rays will have a Rosarena, Paredes, and Walls coming up. One and two.
Got Josh Hader down in that Padre bullpen, just lurking.
Those three he's scheduled to face are very tough on left-handers, but Snell was outstanding today as a 1-2 fouled back by Cronenworth.
Padres up 2-0. Again, though, still looking for their first hit with runners in scoring position. And they just cannot escape that. And it was interesting, Bob Melvin saying that that starts to even take a life on of its own. As a hitter in an organization, you're aware of it, so you try to make something happen, and doesn't work.
Not so far. 1-2 on the ground over the mound. Franco again slings it and just beats Cronenworth by a long step. To the 9th we go. The Padres trying to hang on. Part of some of baseball's biggest events, like playing in the Corona All-Stars Celebrity Softball Game or getting on-field access before the T-Mobile Home Run Derby. Restrictions apply. See rules and enter for a chance to win at MLB.com/moments. Quiet in the Gaslamp quarter offensively in this game. Josh Hader, who's allowed all of 1 earned run in this ballpark all season, throws a first pitch called a strike to Randy Arozarena.
Sinker, slider, and the right-handers may see a changeup, but Hader's going to come right after you.
1 ball, 1 strike to Arozarena, who has 3 of the 15 strikeouts, and those hitters 4 through 7 have 7 of the 15 strikeouts. There's a strike. 1-2. The last Tampa Bay base runner was Yandy Diaz in the 5th. Little piece of it. Arozarena is still alive.
It looked like Sanchez had that, just wasn't able to hold on to it.
He'll put a swing on a fastball.
You did, didn't you? Hooked that thing way foul.
One, 2. Fouled it off his body. That is the thing about this Tampa Bay roster. They're first in the American League in home runs, and they can do it to you very quickly. Overall in baseball, they're second in home runs. And there is strikeout number 16, 1 short of a season high for Tampa Bay.
That's Arozarena's 4th strikeout today, all swinging. Again, Padre pitching has just been dominant. Again, this is a great Tampa Bay offensive ball club.
And they have left 6 runners on. They've only had 2 hits. Strike 1. First 4 strikeout game for Randy Arozarena comes today as it's 1-1 on Paredes.
You just mentioned, so 4 strikeouts for Arozarena. in tonight's ball game. Watch his pitch here, and going back to the great Tony Gwynn, I have to say this. Greg Maddux, Pedro Martinez, Tom Glavine, John Smoltz. He faced them 323 times, struck out 3 times combined. That's crazy.
It's amazing. To third base, and Machado.
I got to say it again. I got to give my man Don Urso credit, the great Padre announcer. You just got Machado. Manny doing it.
Hader wasn't sure. All he can do is turn on the applause sign, and the crowd will follow. Strike 1 to Wolves.
How about the crowd?
27 sellouts in mid-June. Strike 2. Shirts are optional. Two strikes. Inside. One, two, on the ground past Hader. Xander Bogaerts doesn't have a play. Walls is safe, and the tying run will come to the plate.
Both of these clubs elite defensively. Second time tonight that Bogaerts was unable to get a clean grip of the ball. Allows the inning to continue. Again, this home run hitting ball club, they still got a chance.
For some teams, tying run at the plate is pie in the sky. It's not for the Tampa Bay Rays, as there is strike 1 to Margot. Hader working quickly to 0-2. Foul back. The last time the ball left the infield off the bat of a Tampa Bay Ray was the 3rd inning. Offensive silence surrounded by thunder. An 0-2 is strike 3, and San Diego shuts out mighty Tampa Bay.
Can't say enough about the San Diego Padre pitching, especially the start by Blake Snell against his former team. Just continued to dominate his last couple of starts. And this is against the best team in baseball, the Tampa Bay Rays, the best offense in baseball. San Diego Padres did enough offensively, but the pitching, that was a story tonight.
As complete of a game as you're going to see from a pitching staff, San Diego gets a victory, and the Padres are now 2 under. The Rays fall for just the 23rd time this year. For Brad Weimer, Dustin Dente, our entire wonderful crew, for everybody here in San Diego, he's Eric Karros, I'm Jason Benetti. We'll send you to Chris Myers in Los Angeles right after these messages.